are fighting for our brothers and sisters to get promoted. Yes.
Have input. Certainly, inequality anywhere is something that we don't tolerate, and I'll just say it again. In Atlantic County of 1,725 employees, 30% of supervised community are specialty services school for the disabled and the Atlantic County Institute of Technology. But where I think we really should key on the schools is where do you get the jobs after the schools? And recently, if you don't know this, we spend as a pass-through from the federal government $11 to $14 million a year at our Workforce Investment Board trying to train people for jobs that mostly don't exist. So what we've asked to do is to have legislation changed to allow line item authorizations for training with partner businesses so that we can train for the jobs that we have. The most important thing you can do for a school, the industry here, we have done that. Our aviation industry is expected to be a job multiplier. We have programs in aviation now at ACIT and at Atlantic Cape Community College and in Stockton. And we'd be glad to extend that with any partner cities in Pleasantville or Atlantic City.
Ms. Fernandez?
It's just simple. We don't have to go that far. Keep our schools and our education well-funded, regulation, and to make sure all our children and adults too that need education have the education that they need. Put the money when it's needed, even for our kids in the school, for our special needs kids, and for our adults. Education is everything. Knowledge is power. Empower our children. Empower our community.
Staying on this school topic, what answer do you have for municipalities whose school enrollment is declining?
Again, it all come in with social issues. Find the school, you gotta put the funding in there. But if our social issues are not taken care of, our children's not gonna go for an education. With everything that is going on in our county, we have lost faith. Our children have lost faith. And all this start with our elected officials and the lack of leadership. That's what they seen, a lack of leadership, going nowhere. So what incentive are we giving to these kids to get a better education, especially minorities?
Mr. Formica?
Declining enrollment has occurred as of 2011 to 2016. We lost, and you can check with Bob McDevitt, very little because we don't control the school districts in Atlantic County, although under a law that was passed by State Senate President Steve Sweeney, we could actually consolidate school districts, but we haven't gotten involved in that. But it's definitely up to school districts to make out the changes they have to make with downsizing while the enrollment's down. But now that the only way to get the enrollment up is to get families that have jobs to come here and work and raise their families in Atlantic County. And that is the mission and role and what we are getting done right now in Atlantic County. Our plan of record is working.
Mr. Formica?
I represent everybody. Freeholder at large goes from Mullica, Urban City, Hamilton to Port Republic, along the shore here and all the offshore communities. It's a simple question and a simple answer. But we really have to represent the needs of people. If you're talking about representing people, I'm from Atlantic City. I grew up in Ducktown. I didn't know that most people weren't Italian until I went to high school. Then I found the Irish didn't like it, but that's another subject. Authorities, the agencies, and the outreach. So whether it's business people that they're trying to put a $600 million hotel, whether it's a farmer that's trying to create a winery, or whether it's somebody working in Atlantic City that's trying to find out, what the housing situation is and how they need help. I feel as I represent everybody, and the only joy I actually get out of being a politician is when I can help somebody.
Yes.
When you represent people, you go and talk to them and find out their needs. Not what we think as elected officials they need, but talk to them. I was with a group of senior citizens and go back again to them a couple of days ago, right here in Vennel Avenue. And they asked, you know what, even though we are senior citizens now, at least come to the community once a year and let us know what is going on out there. Before we pass, before we leave this world, we want to know what changes the county is going to bring. We need to better those services that we are not receiving. We need more outreach. We want to count small businesses. If you represent small businesses, I'm a small business owner. And what I did, I formed a small business association called Main Street Small Business LLC. So we group each other to empower each other, to go and look for resources so that we can grow and thrive. We didn't know about Mr. Formica. And a lot of people from Hamilton, people empower them. Give them the knowledge that they need. Let them know what you are, what you do, and you can help them. How do you know about their needs if they don't know how you can help them? Listen to them.
Ms. Fernandez, Mr. Formica would like a 1-minute rebuttal.
As I'm sure my opponent knows, the Freeholder Board is consisting of approximately of ad hoc committees.
What I've been doing the past 15 years is being a leader of my community, empowering servant leadership, and bringing resources to the people that need it. So when you're talking about outreach, again, get out of the leader box, go to the community, talk to the thing.
Ms. Fernandez, we'll go back to you. If elected, what is your economic vision?
Like I mentioned before, we need diversification, empower our economy. That is more than the casino. That is more than the gambling. For over a decade, the FAA Tech Center was unused. And do you know that is our #1 asset? That's our #1 asset. And our Congressman Loviondo has been fighting for years for that center to be utilized. And right now,